That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. I am upright. I am ready to go. And we have Notre Dame football items to discuss. You guys are being funny in the chat already, giving me a hard time. Giving me a hard time for being out of commission earlier this week. We got a lot going on. It's good to have this kind of energy. It's good to have this kind of vibe. Things are picking up. That's my feel on it. It's starting to bubble. It's starting to percolate a little bit. Like you could just feel the energy starting to kind of pick up. I get this feeling. People are like, okay, summer's cool, but like what comes next? Let's get there. And so I got a few things. We got a lot of things to discuss. We're going to go over this jersey reveal. What a coincidence. Like good timing that came out right before the show started. So we're going to play the video. We're going to play the video and we're going to go over this. Some of you have some really interesting thoughts about it already. We're going to play the video of the reveal, which is pretty cool. And then also I'm going to touch on soccer. I need a minute to ask you guys some questions about the soccer situation in America. I don't know anything about soccer. And I know it wasn't supposed to look like that if you're the best players in the world for your country. I don't understand. So I got a couple soccer questions. As a guy who knows nothing about it but watched that America game, like, you have really different observations when you're watching it as a newbie who doesn't even know the rules. So, like, I have some really basic soccer questions here after what I watched. And I'm touching on Notre Dame's first 6 games of this season. And what a unique opportunity this 6-game ramp up into the meteor schedule provides, and maybe where a pitfall could be with each of those teams we play. What should be in our minds as you play those first 6 games? I want to go over that. I had this on the list to go over last week and it just didn't happen. We got busy. But I want to go over this because there's some really interesting items. I see a few of you guys want to jump on early, so maybe we'll do the jersey reveal, bring you early guys on, see what you think. And then we'll get into some of the other stuff here. So thank you for the patience. Jared, good to see you. Morning, everybody. I haven't been able to catch live in a while. It's just good to be here. Thanks for the patience. I don't know what happened right around 4th of July. I caught something. I don't know if it's a sinus thing, an allergy thing. There's a bug going around the suburbs. I don't know what it was, but I was down for the count. So thank you for your patience on Monday. And so I was sick. Mike injured his back doing, like, when I say manual labor, the key part of the phrase is man, because he's moving 90 tons of rock around the yard. He's building barns. He's building furniture. It's unbelievable. He's fixing vehicles. It's unbelievable. So he injured his back doing manual labor. So we were out of commission. No Monday Night Raw. So it's just, it's a good thing that we're in the off season because him and I were both down for the count Monday. So for those of you on Patreon, thank you very much for the consideration there that for the first time ever, we didn't do a Raw. I was dragging ass and he was dragging back. We were just both down for the count. So thank you guys for the patience. Homer TD. Oh man. It's good to see you, Tone. It's good to see you. We're almost there, buddy. We're almost there. We're creeping into football season, Tony. Can't wait to see you. Hopefully more than once this year. We'll see what happens. Sons. John and Mike sacrificed themselves, so no players lost arms at this year's Talich family party. You can either laugh or you can cry. You can laugh or you can cry. You guys, when you think about the Jagasaw situation, it is bad luck on bad luck on bad luck, layered onto more bad luck. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The odds of being in the situation where what happened happened and the result of it was that bad is already horrible luck. And then to have to go back in there and have a few more surgeries and cleanups, and it's always the next thing. It's just horrible, man. You're looking at like 2 years of this guy that's like considered the most gifted athlete amongst the offensive line. Not 2 years. You're going on 2 years. It's incredibly frustrating. I'm sure he is miserable, and frustrated. It's a really bad deal. So you can either laugh about it or you can cry about it. So, but it's really, really been a tough road there and very, very frustrating for everybody involved. Most notably that young man who has the body and the frame to be an NFL starter. So it's for however frustrated we all are. Imagine that guy. He's got the body to be an NFL starting lineman for a really, really long time. He just can't get on the field. So really frustrating. Talking about horrible injuries. I've seen all the videos and all the messages of everybody who blew their arm off 4th of July. Nobody listens to me. Nobody listens to me when I warn them. And then sure enough on Twitter and on the news and everywhere else, local boy goes to summer job minus an arm right after the 4th of July. I see the articles. I see the videos everywhere. Nobody listens to me. This stuff's dangerous. It's dangerous. And I'm going to just say this. I know we're beyond the 4th of July. I'm just going to say this. For all my firework, like the messaging I give about the firework thing, I go to a buddy's house who owns like a farmhouse out in the country where like just fields and pole barns, and he's got 4-wheelers and dirt bikes and golf carts and you chickens running around. You can do whatever you want out there. And I show up, and I'm not kidding you. This guy's younger brother says, "When do you want me to light off the ones I made at home?" So you guys, I got this anxiety about these fireworks already when they're coming from Indonesia or Vietnam or wherever they're making them, China, whatever. This dude says, "When do you want me to light the homemade ones?" This guy literally buys the components somewhere on the internet and builds his own fireworks / sticks of dynamite / rockets into the Strait of Hormuz. Like it was a bit much. And when those went off, I made sure I was in a barn with a beer, barely looking out. Unbelievable. Homemade fireworks. I've never heard of that one. That's a new one. And so I see a lot of you guys commenting on the jerseys there. If you like them, if you don't like them, we're going to play the video. We'll give our reaction to that. And so, one more note. Just a weird week for me. It started out with me not feeling very well. Now I'm on the mend. Here's the other thing. I'm going out of state this weekend. Not going to have a Friday show. So not going to have a Friday morning show. I'm going to visit my cousin in Kentucky. They got a nice house on a golf course with a pool and everything else. We're going to go do that for a weekend. So we're not going to have that show. However, I am going to have something for you for Igwebuike, because I believe that is the 11th. And so I will have a video for you, even though I'm long gone. I'll have a video for you guys regarding Igwebuike and that. So we will have that coverage for you over the weekend. And then here's my thought. This is my last weekend with the weird schedule being gone or whatever else. We're going to start building. And so I think that's going to include some night shows. We're going to get back into that as we build the ramp to camp. Maybe do the Saturday night shows, like do something like that. And so, yeah, Saturday Night Raw, it doesn't fit the WWF theme, but we'll get into that. Always Irish turning into part-time Irish. You know what? I thought about that last night. It's like pretty soon it's going to be work every single day for the next 7 months. God bless it. I love it. I embrace it. I can't wait for it. But it's literally going to be every something to do for Always Irish every single day for the next 7 months when we get into August. And I can't wait. So I'll do the family thing, have our fun, and then we'll lock it all down. John, did you follow the Taylor and Travis wedding? I logged on to ESPN. I logged on to ESPN to look up some baseball statistics. And on the main page, it was a live stream just of the entrance of Madison Square Garden, just showing like traffic and nothing. Words cannot express how much I don't care about this. I don't care. It's not a sports story. I don't care at all. I don't care. I've never understood. Somebody's got to tell me the fascination with rich and famous people's personal lives. I just don't care. Like, and some people are like, you know what, John, if a football team wins or loses, like, why should you care? Whatever. But you can't, like, it's an intimate relationship with your football team and like your school or whatever. You don't have that with a football player and a singer. You don't know nothing about them. There's no history there. I don't understand the whole obsession with rich people's personal lives. I've never understood it. I think it's a bizarre industry, like the paparazzi industry. I'm just trying to take a picture of, the other one was the dog. The dog. Oh, they got a dog. And then, it's on ESPN. They got a dog. Who cares? Everybody's got a dog. Who cares? So I've never understood the general public's obsession with these rich, famous people's personal lives that don't affect you at all. I don't understand it. But having a live stream on the venue that shows nothing for days on end, it's way over the top, way too much. I don't care. The highlight of the wedding for me would have been that Paul McCartney was there. There you go. There's my highlight. Hearing that Paul McCartney was there. That's my highlight. You got Happy Gilmore doing it's almost, I'm sure they like each other, but it's almost like this was like a Netflix special when you got Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison up there as the priest. How serious you want me to take this when you got Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore up there as the priest, man, doing the wedding? Yeah. Words cannot express how much I don't care and how much I don't understand. I do not care. I don't care. So let me get into a couple super chats. We need to get into the jersey reveal, and I have some thoughts on that too. Whatever. Mark with glasses, $2 holler. Happy birthday, Omer TD. Tone turned 70 yesterday. Oh man, he turned 70, but he's feeling 40. Ready to party at the tailgate. Keg stand Tony. Here we go. Woo! Tony's the best. $20 holler from Tommy and Carissa. Sup, John? How are things? First live show I've caught in a while. What do you think about Shamrock unis? Kept it mostly basic, nothing too flashy. The season can't get here fast enough. Leave no doubt and go Irish. Well, I like hearing that. Tony, he doesn't even, he ages in reverse. That man's going to show up at a tailgate looking like a 22-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Tony, you're the man. You're the man. And it's a big year for you and your family and all of us too, buddy. That's for darn sure. Okay, so let's get into the topics of the day. And it is not homemade dynamite sticks, a firework. As always, thanks for being here. You can subscribe on YouTube. Give the video a thumbs up, notifications on, share it with a friend, share the Patreon with a friend. A lot of people unaware of what the Patreon even is, whatever. If you're into that, share it with the Notre Dame friend. Dulac Shakur is a really good name. I really, really like that. Maybe you've been here before, but I don't remember seeing it. A Dulac Shakur that's an ape. It's not Charlie Weiss's last belt loop, which might be my all-time favorite. Thinking of the stress that thing goes through in its day-to-day life. Charlie Weiss's last belt loop might be my favorite of all time. But Dulac Shakur is pretty good too. You guys are creative. I like it. Skipping Monday's show to get a haircut, Johnny. That was yesterday. Thank you very much. I had to get lined up before I leave town and go see my relatives. Dulac Shakur. Your avatar needs to be, there are photos of Tupac and Snoop both wearing Notre Dame stuff during concerts. And I don't think, and so you can look that up, but there are pictures of Tupac wearing Notre Dame stuff. So if you want to make that connection, Dulac Shakur, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. And we're getting a good little blend of people who approve or don't approve of the Shamrock uniform. So, and so we'll get into that. And I've highlighted some of your thoughts on it. And so that'll be interesting. Twitter, search bar, always Irish, rat, always Irish Inc. Email is always irishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it if you're sick of looking at my face because you're going to see it a lot. Once August comes around, you ain't going to be able to get rid of my dumb face. Notre Dame on SI. Read all about it. Article for you every single day of your life. And then the Patreon. Share it. We have some new stuff coming up for that. We're evolving and making some new offerings for you guys. So you're gonna see Mr. Rogers. I'm changing my username to Tyrone Willingham's Broken Skates. I couldn't handle it. The day where Goolsby told me live on Raw that you just used to see Tyrone Willingham skating around campus, like literally rollerblading around campus with full pads, like the arm pads, the knee pads, and the whole thing. And I can't get the image out of my mind of Tyrone Willingham. You're walking through the quad, and here he comes skating through your head coach in full rollerblade safety gear. Unbelievable. Not as offensive, though, as when he said they would be working out and they'd look over and Ty would be practicing his chipping. What is the deal with some of these Notre Dame coaches in golf? That is a retirement sport when you're the head coach. You never want your head coach to be good at golf till he retires. If your head coach is good at golf while he's still coaching, you got a red flag. He's practicing too much. Okay? Swarbrick's son at Under Armour could have done a better job with those uniforms. I wish it was roller skates and not roller blades. Have you seen the niche? There's like a YouTube niche. They're bringing back like these skating places and they'll just play like classic dance music or whatever. And the old people skate and they all dance to it. It's actually pretty cool. Good way to stay active. I like it. They play some old school hip hop and Return of the Mac, and they're all like skating around and doing all these moves. Like, I like it. I'm here for that. Laverne and Shirley slip. You must be of a certain age and generation to know Laverne and Shirley. They used to get it done. But yeah, Charlie Weiss's last belt loop. Son says, yeah, John, those are called nursing homes. No, I'm serious. Like a real skating place. Like growing up, our town had like a skating rink, and every Saturday you would go there and they would play music, and then you could like get nachos and play the arcade and go skate. All the birthday parties were there. And then like once an hour, they would do what they called like the couples skate. And here's how old so you got a partner and then you held hands and went around. Here's how old I am. The only song I remember for the couples skate was Achy Breaky Heart. So like that tells you what generation I grew up. You know what I'm talking. Hannah's dad, right? Don't break my heart, my achy breaky heart. I remember that, man. Isn't that show? Isn't that show? What is it? Hannah, right? With Miley Cyrus. It's so right. Ryan. Oh my God, you guys are getting me. Ryan, that was unbelievable. I do miss sock hops. Sock hops were amazing. Oh, sock hops, dude. Sock hops were the highlight of the month. They would pick a different Catholic private school in the diocese, and then they would host it in their gym, and they would have a DJ there, and they would play. It was, oh man, those were good. Those were good days. The sock hops were great. And if you got too close, slow dancing, a nun would come in there with a ruler and be like, "Save some room for the Holy Spirit." You know what I'm saying? They would like separate you. That's what they would say. The nun would come up. She'd put that ruler between you and say, "Save some room for the Holy Spirit, would you?" But yeah, those sock hops were awesome, man. You get all hopped up on Skittles and Mountain Dew, and I'm in there, and it was that was a good time for music too. It was like, I always remember Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes the words just hypnotize me. Like those were the kind of songs for the sock hop. Pony, Genuine Pony came out. I remember that playing at the sock hop. Very inappropriate, by the way. But that was awesome. I like that era. What else did the sock hop things come about? I don't know what they want from me. It's like the more money we come across, the more problems we see. Hell yeah, man. Those were the songs they were playing at the sock hop. It was awesome, and it was fun. Okay, Adam Dowling, $10 hour. Good morning, Irish faithful. Been a long time since I've been able to listen to the morning show. It's officially time to talk football. 60 days, the dog days. Ow! Wine and Cheese says, return to the Mac. I'm going to tell you this right now. They didn't play regulators at the sock hop, but they should have. I'm going to tell you this right now. Return of the Mac is a beat that will never get old to me. I will love it till the day that beat, there's something about it. I love that beat. I like all the remixes. Post Malone had a remix. I like that beat is absolutely fantastic. It never ages. It's one of my favorite songs. I absolutely love Return of the Mac. The beat is perfect. It checks all the bases of a beat to make you move your feet. You know what I'm talking about? Josh Miller. Note for the plaintiff. That's good. I don't even want to say it on YouTube, but I like where you're going with that. Oh, man. Yeah, we're in the dog days. Okay, I need to get into this. Let's do the reveal video, and then we'll see what you guys think about it, and then we'll see how much time we have left, and we'll go from there. John, that's... John, that's a white guy. Whenever a rap song plays, he says he likes the beat. Isn't that her name, Hannah? Yeah, Too Close. They're not playing Ain't No Fun at the sock hop. That is very inappropriate. They're not playing Ain't No Fun as much as I would have loved it, because that's one of my favorite beats too. They're not playing that. Too Close, they would play. They would play the Too Close. Yeah, and then it was. And what else did they always? Oh, I know what they played. They always played. My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns. Huh? They always played that, and I always wondered if the nuns over there in the corner understood what was going on. They always played that. Oh, play some Pink Floyd. Yeah. That'll really get the crowd going at the 8th grade sock hop. They did not play Hit 'Em Up. I think that was a little too intense for the moment there at the 8th grade sock hop. All right. I want to show this video every time. You know what I love? You guys are seriously cracking me up today. I don't know what it is. We had one day off and you all come back funnier. What did you all write? A bunch of stand-up comedy? You all got jokes and I'm here for it. Johnny making a moonshine run to Kentucky. All right, listen, I don't know what we're going to do. They got an in-ground pool. They live on a fancy country club course. My cousin and her husband are both Kroger corporate, and they're real high up in the Kroger organization. And the guy, Ryan, you'll like this. The guy plays at a official bass tour every weekend. He traveled, the whole garage is boats, fishing stuff. He's got sponsors. Every weekend he drives the boat somewhere and plays in a bass tournament. It's amazing. It's really interesting. Really interesting. So we're going to go hang out with them before football starts. And I get busy every weekend for 7 months. All right. Let's play the Shamrock reveal video. And then let's see what we think.
They say football is woven into the soul of this country. But if you trace the thread back to the beginning, you'll find it was spun from the same spool. Before the frozen tundra, there was a cathedral. It was a dream in the mind of a man named Curly, a standout for Rockney, who brought the spirit of the Golden Dome to the shores of Lake Michigan.
And we aren't going to stop until we go that goal line.
He didn't just build a team, he borrowed a blueprint. For a century, our stories have been stitched together. From the Golden Boy Paul Hornung winning titles in both colors, to the Notre Dame box formation that defined the early days of Green Bay. We are the outliers, the small town legends, the independent spirits who believe tradition isn't something you just remember, it's something you wear. This year, the Shamrock Series comes to the most hallowed ground in the professional game. A tribute to the pioneers, a nod to the Acme Packers blue and gold roots, fused with the fire of the Fighting Irish. Two legacies, one field, woven from the same cloth, bound by history. On September 6th, the tradition returns to its source. Notre Dame, Lambeau. This is the fabric of football.
Okay, there we go. There it is. There it be. And so I want to know what you guys think. A couple interesting things in my mind. Really, really interesting things. Number one is, am I dreaming, or was a lot of that AI, or all of it AI? Like, you could notice parts of that were like AI built or whatever, not regular video. I think that's an interesting angle there, how you use the AI part of this. I think that's interesting. The other thing that's funny to me is when they're like a man named Curly, I can't be the only one who also thought of the Three Stooges right away. Like, I understand Curly Lambeau's ties to Rockney and all that. But when they're like a man named Curly, I'm like, well, what about Mo and Larry? And don't forget about Shemp. So you have that part of it. And then the other thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, I never want to get like a Notre Dame like history thing wrong. Is Paul Hornung still the first guy to ever win a Heisman on a losing football team? Am I dreaming, or is that still a stat that our very own Paul Hornung is the only guy that won it on a losing football team? Dr. John will know that. Somebody let me know. Somebody let me know. And then the actual uniforms. Whatever, man. Whatever. Win the game. I don't care. Win the game. Win the game. I like the history, and you're doing the certain things for different reasons. That's all fine. But like just win the game. I will ask this. Yeah, Hornung is the only one. Okay, I do have that history right. But I am going to ask this. Is anyone surprised this uniform isn't a shade of green to wrap in the Packers and Notre Dame thing? And I realize they already have a green jersey that you're going to wear. What is it? Is it Stanford? You're going to wear green? They already are doing a green, but I was wondering if you're going to do something different. Is it going to be a green for the Packers or whatever? But ultimately, I don't care. Just start 1-0. I don't care. Just start. The green out is the very next game. There's no way it's a green out for Rice. Are you outside? You can't. It's not a green out for the food game. It ain't Rice. I know that. So I don't know, man. It's whatever. It's I don't care like what you're gonna wear. Just win the damn game. I do not care. Just stop. You know what I was thinking about over the weekend? I was thinking about the misery of our existence at 0-1. And I was just thinking about the tone it sets for your year when you wait 9 months to get to football and you're first served a fat loss. And I'm just thinking about how miserable that existence is coming on the post-game show after all offseason you're waiting and you're 0-1. And that's what you're sitting with. Don't even get me started on doing it after 0-2. But it got me thinking about that misery of waiting so much for something you care so much about, only to sit there on the first post-game show and you're 0-1 and you're already behind schedule and you're in a bad spot right off the bat. So I don't care what your jerseys are. Make it 1-0 this year. And I don't care if there are parts of that game that aren't cleanly played by Notre Dame, a little rough around the edges, week 1 variants. You know, everything isn't perfect. There's some struggles there, whatever that looks like. The O-line isn't totally gelled because it's week 1. Whatever it is, if you could just start out 1-0, I'll be in such a better mood. Everyone is a lot more open to covering where you need to improve when it's in a win. So, like, I just want you to think about what that feeling was of being 0-1, right? Here's the other this Penn State sports talk. Explain this to me. Luke Fickell's on the hot seat. It's super hot. I have seen people say, you know why Notre Dame better watch out or whatever, because Luke Fickell's on the hot seat and whatever else. I don't understand. So because the guy's failing year after year, I'm supposed to be more scared of him? Like, I don't understand. Like, shouldn't I be more scared of a team that has a great coach and a team that's winning all the time? Like, it's a weird argument that I'm supposed to be more scared of the guy that's been failing. It's like all of a sudden he's been failing. And all of a sudden now it's all going to change and it's all going to click. So I struggle with that argument of like, you know, you need to watch out for the guy who's failing horribly. Like, why? I'm always on alert, but not because of that. It's like it assumes Fickell felt no pressure before and he was okay going 4-8 or whatever. But like now the heat's on. So what? Now he's going to try harder to coach? Like, I'm not building that bridge. I'm just not building that bridge. But the bridge I will build is week 1 variance. That is a real thing. Scientific week 1 variance, which means weird stuff happens in week 1. There's some inefficiencies that will not happen in week 3 or 4 for these teams. But like week 1, I always talk about it, week 1 variance. There's little miscommunications, little mistakes, little stuff like that. Yeah, you just got to make sure you're on the winning side of it, right? Like just one miscommunication between a back and the quarterback, and there's a fumble for a touchdown. Like little things happen that aren't mistakes that aren't going to happen when you get further down the road. And so You just got to make sure whatever that is, you're on the winning side of it. And it's like look at the South Florida Kelly game. Great example. All those uncharacteristic mistakes, fumbling going in the goal line, passes bouncing off helmets and going weird. Like just some weird stuff can happen in week one if you allow it to. Fickle has lost 13 of his last 17 games. The quarterback's interesting. I actually think their defense is going to be like not horrible. It might be one of the better defenses Notre Dame faced in the first 6 games. They got that quarterback that can be tricky if you allow him to be. If you allow him to be, how many people have emailed me or text me? Oh, John, that quarterback, he ran for 200 yards on Indiana. You better watch out. I don't care. I don't care that the guy ran for 200 yards on Indiana. I don't care. So you just need to be ready. You need to be ready. Okay. So that's my thought. Let me go over a couple of your reactions in the chat to the jerseys. Then we'll bring you guys up. Jay Carr, jersey video was cool. The jerseys themselves are mid. Just be, you know what, the circles and the numbers, like the little gap, like it looks like old school mesh is what they're looking kind of going for. Like the circles and the numbers. Like I don't care if you take it the wrong way or not. My first thought was it's a FUBU Walmart like collaboration. When I see like the fake mesh jersey thing with the fake like little holes in the numbers, it reminds me of like a FUBU and Walmart like jersey combo for $12.99. And like, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. I don't care about the jerseys. I care much more about the offense and the defense getting things done. Ryan, John was rolling around on the ground like an injured soccer player Monday. I'll tell you this right now. If you want more regular people to buy into that sport and start caring about that sport or whatever, you can't be in the biggest tournament in the world and you trip and you're laying there like your leg got blown off in the Civil War. Like you want to grow the game and have more regular people coming in. You can't be in the biggest tournament in the world flopping around like LeBron times 8, crying that your leg's blowing off when your leg just got stuck in the turf and you fell and you're laying there flailing your arms. That ain't going to grow the sport. So I don't understand that phenomenon. Everywhere you look, there's bodies. It looks like the Patriot out there. I don't understand. I don't understand. Only 60 days till Notre Dame football. We are back. Zach, 3-2-8-2-1. These uniforms are extremely lazy. Agree on the uniforms being boring. But how the hell do you not wear green and gold in Green Bay? I figured they weren't going to be green because they already said they had a green jersey, not for this game, and you're not going to double that up. But I would have thought if there was an opportunity to do something cool with the green and a goldish that kind of looks like Green Bay-ish, you could have done that. But again, I must repeat, I don't care. Just win the game. I don't care. Just win the damn game. Sorry, I'm late. Did we melt down over the Shamrock Series uniforms? I personally think they're good, not great, but definitely not bad. Whatever, man. The Neps for the Leps uniforms are great, but they don't win the game. Yeah, it's a lot of people are there, man. Like I'm over like the gimmicks and just like the distract. Call it a just. In this particular year, I'm over all the distractions. Does that make sense? Look over here at the shiny thing we're doing. Look over there at the new uniform. Look over here at this. I'm over it. I'm not here for any gimmicks or games or any distractions. I'm not here for any deflections. I just need you to win all these games. Like I just need you to win all the games. So like that's where I know that's not fun. People want you to go over all of the original Packers unis were dark blue. So this does honor them. Well, then there you go. You answer that question. Dark blue in the days of black and white, right? So I guess that answers that question. The Fighting Ducks now, yeah, but if you did it for a one-off, and there were reasons you were doing it, I think you could make that work. But I am, especially in this year, I am not getting distracted by any of the noise outside. Like, just need you to win football games. Just need you to win football games. And that's kind of where I'm at on it. But I do appreciate how they built the story and did all that. It's interesting leaning on AI like that and how it looked and everything. It's just, we're in the modern times, people. We're in the modern times. Adam, what's going on? It's been a while. I got Adam Jared Spicoli coming up. What's up, buddy?
Good morning, John. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. 60 days. The countdown is on. I feel like people are coming out of hibernation a little bit, starting to percolate with the foot. Not us crazy people, but regular people. I feel like it's starting to bubble a little bit to get into August and get going. Where is your mind at? What do you think of the jerseys?
Honestly, I don't care too much for the jerseys. I'm right there with you as far as like, it just doesn't matter. Just go out there and win the game, no matter what you're wearing. But I am into kind of the nostalgia and things of that nature. And for me, I'd rather see something cleaner. It just seems like there's just so much trying to be done. Like they're trying too hard, too much gold, too much flash. I like the old school, here we come, we're just going to knock you on your butt type of jersey, kind of like the Goolsby era and things of that nature. But that's just me. So when they're doing like a lot of the gold or the extra different things, to me, it's just too much. It just seems like it's too much. And the same thing with the Leprechaun last year, and changing that up. It's just stop messing with something that's so classic.
Yeah. And Adam, regarding Wisconsin specifically, this jersey ties right into like my topic of wanting to hit on some of these early games. It's a really fine line because I have confidence in Notre Dame and where Notre Dame's program is at compared to Wisconsin. Clearly, I mean, Notre Dame's in a different category. But I need to balance that with games are played on the field. And if you mess around, you can lose it to somebody you shouldn't lose to. So like, I'm trying to balance that, having confidence that this Notre Dame team's at a different level, but having respect for your first opponent. And I'm just trying to responsibly figure out in my mind how to cover that angle without being disrespectful to the opponent, but also not like I'm not building them up to be some I don't think they are. Do you get what I'm saying? How do you straddle that line?
Yeah, easily, buddy, by sitting there and saying it's not about disrespecting your opponent, it's about disrespecting yourself. If we sat there and we have said that this is the team, this is the time, the era, the schedule, that everything's kind of aligning, all the planets are coming into a line for us to get into the playoffs and make a run and see the maturation of Carr and see this running back come into light and take over after Love. The defense, all the NIL that's been going on, transfer portal. It's like everything's happening right now. So don't disrespect what it is that we've built. Don't worry about Wisconsin. Don't worry about Fickle. Penn State guy, I could care less. Because here's the deal. That guy could be on the hottest seat on the planet. He could be on the sun for all I care. It should not matter. We have a better team. We have more talent. We're better. We're more put together. Everything's gelling in the front office and the coaching staff. And now it's got to happen on the field, and it's going to. And we just have to have faith that it's going to.
Yeah. And there's a lot of Notre Dame history that kind of suggests what you get from Notre Dame in week one, a lot of times ends up kind of being kind of what sets the tone for where they're going to be. And it hasn't always been that way with Freeman because there's been some slower starts, stronger finishes. But a lot of times how put together Notre Dame looks in week one is a big arrow indicator of kind of where this is at. And it's super interesting to me. And I wonder, Adam, being one of the favorites, having a different tone here where Notre Dame's kind of hunted in a different way this year. Yeah, everybody wants to clip off Notre Dame, but this is different with these expectations. I'm wondering if Freeman handles that differently with his messaging to the team and the leadership. Like, is there a different approach because you're in a different spot, or do you just keep it business as usual? I don't know.
I think you might turn it up a little bit. I don't know what his message has been to the players specifically, because obviously I'm not in the locker room. But what I would think is that the coaching staff and Freeman in its totality has the message that, overall, like, hey, we've been building this and this is our time and whatever. But now it's like you kind of got to put the kids on the hot seat. Hey, this is your time. You don't get many chances at this. So get out there, put the pressure on them a little bit against a team that most certainly we should win. I don't care where we're playing, whether it was in Madison or if it's in Green Bay, we should absolutely be winning this game by double digits. So to me, I think, I'd like to see a little bit more pressure put onto the players of sitting there and saying like, hey,
Yeah.
this is your time. You need to get out there and do this. As far as like babying them, or not necessarily babying them, but you kind of start with like the incipient steps, right? You're sitting there and you're saying like, okay, guys, hey, we're putting this together. I know you're just starting. I know this is your first year at QB. I know this is this and that and all these different things. It's like, no. That's all done. We are gelled. We are put together. Let's go out there and dominate. It's on you to do it. Let's make a move.
Yeah. And that, if he decides to ramp up the pressure internally, either in direct ways or indirect ways, but if he turns the heat up on the players in terms of what's expected every day in camp or anything else, like, what a compliment. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Definitely.
You as a player, you would know, oh man, he's turning up the heat because he believes you're in a position to be able to handle that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not too much, or it's not just like a trope. But if you're cranking it up on the players, it's because there's a belief level they can handle it at that level. And it's reaffirming that's where we're at. You got to live up to it. I'm all for that. But it's like a matter of, is it messaging from Freeman, or is it more like Freeman bestows that on the player leadership to kind of permeate that out of like, maybe it just either camp vibe or how we're going to do this. Like, but I'm all for ramping it up because it feels very, very different.
Yeah, because this is our time, right? I mean, if that's what we're saying, and we don't know, like, is Carr going to go or not, and then we start over at a QB, or, it's just all these different things that could happen. And I know what you were saying about Goolsby saying, like, well, if he stays, that's probably because of the fact that we lost. But if he goes, it means we won. But you never know. Like, we could get to the championship, lose, and then he could take off. There is that possibility. And so, and then you're kind of starting over, and then you got new players coming in. It just seems like this is that year. And there's just so much about it. It's palpable. It's different than all the other times where we're like, hey, I think we got a shot against Clemson down in Dallas. I think we got a shot against Alabama down in Miami. No,
very,
you
very
don't.
different. Very,
Right?
very different.
We just don't. I mean, there's just a palpable difference there. So I love it. I would love to have that heat put on. I think it's necessary. I think it's something that it would help this team be achievable. And what the overall goal is, that this fan base, as well as the players and the coaches and everybody else that's been so tied to Notre Dame throughout the decades and so forth, have been waiting for.
Yeah, it's this is different. Notre Dame's everybody, you're always going to get everybody's best shot when you're Notre Dame or whatever, but it is different when you're considered to be one of the title favorites. Like, that is a unique target. And we're going to see how Notre Dame handles it. And primarily Marcus Freeman and his messaging and how he prepares this team for these games. And then, quite frankly, CJ Carr, man, like, Jeremiah Love is gone. This is CJ Carr's team. And on the player's side, he needs to be the straw that stirs Notre Dame's drink. And I believe that.
Completely agree. And then on the flip side to that defense, as much as we've been hearing, and it has been getting, a lot of pub out there through the mainstream media about this defense being the top notch and that nobody wants to face them. And I'll tell you, like, that's going to be a huge key, because if this offense does have some like gelling moments that's needed for whatever reason, if this defense could shut other offenses down, especially the caliber of offenses that we're going to be seeing this year in the regular season, it will give more opportunity and time to the offense to sit there and say, okay, now we know what we can do. They also feel a lot more comfortable knowing that they have such a stout defense on the other end.
Yeah. Yeah. It's but man, like Adam, the buildup in August is always excruciating. How you get these little tidbits of practice reports in the little viewing window the legacy media is there for it, and we all overreact to every little play that's made or not. Like that's always a kind of a stressful but exciting time. It's going to be on steroids this year. That whole August ramp up during camp, like people are going to be foaming at their mouth, just foaming at the mouth to get to the real deal here. It's going to be an exciting run after a really long off season that had a bad taste in everybody's mouth, quite frankly.
John, when did we last play? We last played in November.
Yep.
I mean, think of that. Like
Yep.
the year before, it was January or whatever. Like,
yep, I think it was January 21st or something like
right.
that. Yeah.
So you're almost in February at that point. So when you look at it, like we haven't played in so long. I mean, we're in the 7th month of the year right now. So you're talking, it's been 9 months. And so we are salivating at this. And for me, it's like July 4th is done. There's all these different things that have happened, you know, that like super, like just kind of debilitating time in between the last kickoff of college football and today, where you're just sitting there going, oh my God, it's not forever. But someone at the beginning, I think Sly Fox or one of them said in the chat, like, hey, we're 60 days away. You know, I mean, this is like, I'm starting to get antsy. I'm starting to like say, okay, let's go. Like it's getting closer and closer. And I'm just ready. I'm ready, man. I think we're going to I think we're going to kick it off with an absolute just bombshell to the league saying like, hey, get ready because this team is for real, you know, and that whole Wisconsin thing is going to get shut down real quick. Fickle's going to be on a hotter seat than he already is. And we're going to keep moving on. We go to Rice, we take care of business, we honor Lou, and then we just move forward, just keep marching forward every week, no complacency, getting better and better, and just marching all the way into the playoffs. Do what Indiana did last year and just beat the hell out of everybody. That's what we need to do, and believe in ourselves that we can do it.
Yep. I'm with you, Adam. Hey, thanks for joining here on a Wednesday. How's work going, man? You staying safe out there?
Oh, I'm staying safe. I'm up in Tahoe on my last day of vacation. So I'm going back home tomorrow or today, actually. And then I go back to work, and then it starts off with the crazy summer schedule where it's like, you know, who knows, however many days in a row. So getting ready for it, but spent some good time with the family. Definitely we're catching all of your shows, which has definitely been helping. And one last thing I'm going to say, buddy, definitely my favorite is Charlie Weiss's last belt loop. That one is classic. But I will say, in a close second, you had a rant one day when Mark with glasses punctured his foot on like a pizza box, like little steak or something like that, and you had all these different nicknames. That was a close second because that one had me in tears. No pun to nothing to Mark. Mark, you're fantastic, but it was just. Man, those ones they were incredible. So there you go.
Charlie Weiss's last belt loop. It sums up the stress of being a Notre Dame fan through the life of that loop. Like there's something existential when I think about the stress that belt loop has gone through, just trying to get through each day. It's just like
it's incredible.
It represents Notre Dame fans so properly.
100%. That is our stress. That is our history. That is everything since '88, man. Right there.
Yeah, Charlie Weiss's last belt loop is a hard name to beat. I love it. I laugh every time I see it. Adam, thanks for joining this morning, and be safe when you get back to work out there fighting them fires.
Will do, my brother. You take care of yourself.
Have a good one, man. John Kennedy's first belt loop. It's such an appropriate thing. Ryan, good to see you, buddy. How you doing? I know Ryan's ready for this camp to get started too, man. Right? Banging it. God bless Ryan. He bangs out more articles in the off season than I have in me as far as all the recruiting stuff he's doing and multiple things a day. It's not easy to do in the off season to come up with interesting article titles and get traffic. It's not an easy thing to do in the offseason, but Ryan does he works his ass off with it. Bob Kelly, it crushes me not to see Notre Dame USC on the rivalry game of the season. I can't get over it. I'm telling you, when you look at the Notre Dame schedules and you start to look at like, oh, I think we could win here. This could be tough. That could be a trap game. When you do that experiment in your mind, you always kind of do that experiment knowing you have USC in your back pocket to talk about and worry about. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, whenever you've done this experiment of like, Notre Dame could win here, this could be a trap, whatever. You always knew you had USC to talk about at some point. And then this year, instead of going to the Coliseum on Thanksgiving weekend, you're playing Syracuse. And it's just a struggle for me to not have that marking indicator point, the arrow of USC Notre Dame. It just feels like kind of empty when you're analyzing a Notre Dame schedule that doesn't have USC. And there's this empty feeling like something's wrong here, something's missing. And you work your way through all the games and you get to the end and you're like, oh, there's no USC. Okay. ND needs USC more than USC needs Notre Dame. Mike, that is correct. I don't even really think that's debatable. When you look at USC's Big Ten schedule and the comfort you have being in a Power 4 conference, you could have a really weak schedule and nobody really brings it up because you're in a Power 4 conference and there's a default that it's just going to be good enough. Notre Dame doesn't have that. And when you're an independent, that's what you're going to get. But yeah, man, it is true, though. Notre Dame needs USC and bigger teams on the schedule more than USC needs us when you're in the Big Ten. So I don't think that's really like debatable. It's like, just because I'm on the Notre Dame side of this, I'm not going to lie about that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Mark, the window is open. Jared and Spicoli are coming up. The window's open, and this isn't the only year we could win like this roster. Well, the thing is, the way you're recruiting, Tom, the way you're recruiting is what should allow for the title window to stay very, very open for a very long time. This is what Notre Dame's never had in the modern era. Rolling and wrapping elite recruiting classes one on top of the next to where you have high level quality, skill, and depth throughout all your classes. And as the years roll along, it's different faces, but you have the talent you need. We had a top 5 recruiting class, then we bounced down to 18, and then there's no like blue chips, and the classes are kind of uneven on the heaviness of where that skill level lies. No. What they're doing right now is how you compete long term. Give yourself multiple rolls of the dice in the playoff. This is how you do that, by wrapping top level recruiting classes next to each other. That's how you do it. And here's the other thing. I love the work they're doing, O-line, D-line. Freeman talks about this is Notre Dame. We're an O-line, D-line driven program or whatever. Well, that just can't be something you say at the podium. You need to recruit and develop to that mentality, and I'll be damned if they're not doing it. So it is the exact formula they're doing right now with acquiring this talent is the recipe for sustained high-level success in the playoff era. And the idea to me is you gotta be good enough that you're making that playoff every year, whatever that format is. And the more spins at the wheel you have, the more likely it is one year everything falls right for you. Injury luck, schedule luck, the bracket falls in a favorable way for you and everything comes together. The more spins at the wheel of that you have, the more you increase your title odds. And I think next year is going to be really, really interesting. If you got to replace a ton of talent on that defense, that's going to be interesting. So we'll see how that all goes. Glenny, Marcus kept the media sidelined in the spring. Maybe we don't hear much out of August camp either. They're going to give you the breadcrumbs. They're going to give you the breadcrumbs. Okay, that's what they're going to do. And they're going to have these, you know what it's going to be. You're going to have these little glimpses, these little nuggets. And every day we're going to wait for like the legacy media when they get out of whatever they were able to see to update whatever they're allowed to update. And it's going to be one guy Devin Fitzgerald makes a diving one-handed play, and it's like he's going to be the dude this year. Like, you know how it's going to be, man. We're going to live and die with whatever little nugget you get out of that August session. And it's just the way it's going to be. It's just the way it's going to be. And it isn't the media's fault. It isn't the fans' fault. You're going to have little information, and you're going to make a lot out of it because it's all you have to go off of. It's human nature. So I don't know. We've been living on breadcrumbs since December. Yeah, we have. Recruiting and retention is still the lifeblood of college football. I would say development as well. I would say recruiting, development, and retention. And then in terms of the retention, Jared and Spicoli coming up. In terms of the retention part specifically, Notre Dame's doing a really good job with the retention. Notre Dame is now one of those programs that's getting its best players poached and they go somewhere else in the portal. Like, what did you lose? An offensive lineman? You lost Cam Burnham, but you're not losing your best guys. All of the money that Love and Price were offered to leave Notre Dame, and you know the one that impresses me the most? JD Price. Because that's a guy that could have fallen for the, why do you want to be second fiddle at Notre Dame? Come here, we'll pay you to be the number one guy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, Love was the number one guy and had it pretty good, and he was getting money and had endorsement deals and everything. He was doing really well. But when you look at Price, that's a guy who had an opportunity for people to get in his head and say, why you want to be the number two guy? Why don't you come here and you could be the number one guy? We'll build the offense around you and we'll pay you for it. And you could get all that action and get all those carries and touches to prep for the NFL. That's what it could have been. And he didn't do it. And so I give that guy a lot of credit. Also, the other thing regarding the retention. So Notre Dame doesn't have that problem of losing your main guys. Here's the other part of this with the retention piece. I think this is where Notre Dame academics help. I believe that. I think this is what there are certain parts of this where the Notre Dame academics has made it harder to get certain things done in recruiting or otherwise. But I do believe the academic piece is a part of why Notre Dame retains some more guys. Because it's like, if you're not sure you're a 3-year an NFL guy and you could live off that forever, I think some of these guys see a benefit of sticking it out at Notre Dame for that degree and the network and everything else. So I do think there are times where the academics help. There are times where it hurts. So I think that helps Notre Dame as well. But the talent acquisition process is top notch now. The money, obviously. People think about the money to go to the portal and get guys. People think about the money it costs to land top 200 players and load up a recruiting class. No one likes thinking about the money it takes to just keep the good guys you already have happy. No one talks about that part of the money. It's, can you spend $1 million and land a good defensive lineman from the portal? And by the way, that is what it takes to do that. And you talk about, are you spending enough money to land the top guys for recruit? Think about the money you got to pay to keep your good guys happy. And it's like bird in the hand. You already know they're good. You got to keep them. So I think that's a big part of it. A big part of it. Jared and then Spicoli. Jared, what's up?
Hey, John, how's it going, dude?
It's going good, man. You can feel the energy building. It's percolating. People are getting ready for football. A few weeks, we'll be back into camp. What do you think?
Oh, I am over the moon excited. The offseason's hard for me because, I kind of live and breathe college football.
Yeah.
So, like, in the offseason, I'm just kind of like Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my time.
Nice reference. That's a good reference there. I am fortunate this year. The White Sox are the only sports team I care about emotionally other than Notre Dame football. And they have been the worst team in the league for 4 years. And they've been dead to me. And I haven't watched or gone to a game in 4 summers. And now they're competing in spite of the owner. They're competing. That has built me a healthy day-to-day bridge here to not totally lose my mind with this football. So I'm very, very grateful I've had the White Sox as a healthy distraction in the day-to-day to give me a little dopamine hit of that competitive feel. So I'm fortunate. But man, there's a lot of expectations that are very, very different. Does this not feel like a very, very different vibe heading into this year?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely feel like the expectations are really high. I hope we can make it through September because we still get nicked in the butt every time in September because for some reason I don't know what's going on, but that's why Wisconsin. I mean, as silly as this sounds, Wisconsin and even Rice, man, I'm nervous for those games.
Well, dude,
it's weird.
You laugh when you mention Rice. But Marcus Freeman has a checkered history at home early in September. That second game has been an issue. But there are red flags there that this program must overcome. You are not crazy for thinking that. You're going to honor Lou. Like, there should be a different vibe for that one because you're going to honor Lou. It'll be the first home game since his passing. I'm sure they're going to do stuff for him. But you're right, though. That's September. And defending home field, Marcus needs to get better at both of those.
Exactly. And I know there's people that are sitting there laughing at themselves like Rice. I'm the same people that are laughing about that or laughed when we said Marshall and Northern Illinois.
True. It's true. You're absolutely right. This is going to come off. This is going to come off really poorly and arrogantly. But I would contend for the first 6 games of the season, Notre Dame may be its biggest obstacle to going 6-0. Do you understand what I mean by that? You have way more talent. You're going to be a double-digit favorite in those first 6 games. And if you lose one of them, it's going to be a lot about what you did or didn't do compared to the opponent. Does that make sense? Or does that sound disrespectful to our schedule?
No, it absolutely makes sense because on the face of it, there's no reason we should lose any of those games. But given, our recent history, Marcus Freeman in 3 out of his 4 seasons has started either 0-2 or 1-1 in September. So, there's something definitely going on there.
Yeah, and let's be honest about it. Some of it is a lot of these schedules have been front heavy to where you are playing some, look at how you started last year. Those first 2 games were brutal in terms of the talent level you're playing. But that doesn't excuse Marshall. It doesn't excuse Stanford that first year. It doesn't excuse Northern. So nope. Freeman's got to prove they're over that.
Yep. And I heard you kind of talking crap about Luke Fickell earlier, but I know it's a Brian Kelly team, but I just want to point out that we are 0-1 against Luke Fickell.
Yeah, that's a very, very fair point. And you know what bothers me about that, man? That season, you had a light schedule as well. And your toughest game of the year was them at home, and you couldn't get it done. That still upsets me.
Yeah, you lost by 11 points, too.
Yeah,
you were down 17-0 at halftime.
It's really, really tough. Really, really tough. But you need to be so far beyond that. And the other thing, too, is raw talent helps this. I bring it up all the time. You'll have a really good Georgia team or whatever sometimes. They go to some no-name SEC team that isn't good at 11 o'clock start at their place. Sleepy. They don't look engaged. It's a 6-point game through the third quarter and everybody's on upset alert. And then if you have enough talent, they usually make a couple plays to just close the door. You win by 10, check it off, move on. No one makes a big deal about it. You got to have enough talent that that you could just make enough plays that you could get through some of those sticky moments.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want it to seem like I'm sounding negative. I'm not. I've got high expectations. I expect us to blow teams out of the water this year. But I'm just saying, even week 1, even if we do go out there, play great, and we beat Wisconsin like we should, we still got to turn around and play Rice. And I know that sounds laughable, but for some reason with Notre Dame, it's not. For some reason it's not.
Yeah. It's it's all got to change. The September record must change, and defending home field must change. Like, those are two things Marcus Freeman must prove that he's over the hump on. And the other thing, man, is it is perfectly fair to crank up the heat on Freeman. Not the heat of like you're going to be fired, but I just mean he isn't the new guy anymore. He isn't learning on the fly anymore. He isn't a rookie under the bright lights like I've been writing about it early in his tenure and navigating all the newness of being a head coach at Notre Dame and the bright lights. You're in year 5. He should be hitting his stride, his comfort zone, figuring out how he wants to do everything. Like, he should be right in his prime, and he's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, it's absolutely. You're 100% right. We're far enough into his tenure. This is his team that he completely built this team. This is his culture. And if we're still losing in September, that's Marcus Freeman's culture. His culture is losing in September. I mean, that just sounds harsh to say, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. That has been the history. And I think that's why this year's schedule is so unique, because it's uniquely light in the first 6 games. Irish for Life writes, Freeman needs to treat every game as a playoff game. It very well may be. I've been saying this, and I mean it. The lightness of this schedule is a double-edged sword. If Notre Dame takes care of business, they're going to be in fantastic position because of this lighter schedule. However, if you slip up to me anywhere before Miami comes November 7th, you're in big trouble, and you may be in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. 10-2 ain't going to get it done with this schedule. So the lightness of it could be your best friend or your worst enemy, because this is not a 10-2 that's going to put you in playoff position. So you gotta take these all serious. Yeah,
absolutely. And in terms of the jersey, I wish I was in your boat where I didn't care about the uniforms, but for some reason, when they get those Shamrock Series jerseys wrong, it just bothers me. For some reason, I wish I didn't care, but for some reason, when they get them wrong, it bothers me. Like 2018, when they did the Yankees thing, that bothers me because I hated those. And then in 2024, the gray jerseys for absolutely no reason to wear gray. It absolutely bothered me.
I've been on record with this. The Yankee one to me was the worst, because you have 2 of the cleanest, most iconic, largely unchanged historical uniforms of all time, recognized worldwide, the Yankee pinstripes and the Notre Dame. And they managed to ruin 2. They managed to ruin 2 of the most iconic brands of all time at the same time.
Exactly. Those uniforms absolutely sucked. At least now, when they do the Shamrock Series jerseys, they're leaving the helmets alone, which should be like a no-brainer. But even 2024, the one against Army, the wearing gray for no reason at all, like that irritated me too. So I get it. It's just kind of, to me, it's like, man, like, we're all going to talk about it because there's nothing else going on, but damn it, just win the game. I don't care what you're wearing. Go win the football game and I'll like them. And so I don't know, but it is interesting backstory there with the Packers Notre Dame connection with Rockne and Lambeau and everything. I do think that history is cool. So I don't know, man. It's going to be really interesting. Before I let you go, what are your thoughts about camp? We're in the ramp to camp. A few more weeks, the boys will be back out there. Do you have anything in your mind, like how you want camp to go? Or do you want it to be heavily physical? Or do you think they could back off that? Different messaging from Freeman in this year where you're considered a favorite. Like I'm just wondering where you're at as far as how you want Freeman to approach this camp. I mean, I want him to do it completely different because I'm tired of losing in September. So whatever he's doing in fall camp, I hope he does the exact opposite so that we can win in September.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
I wonder then what that looks like as far as
Yeah.
messaging, as far as day-to-day expectations in that camp, or even as far as if you're Freeman and you have this belief that this group could be different before camp, do you pull your upperclassmen leadership and Carr in and say, I need you guys to lead by example and this needs to be different and we need you guys set the tone? Like there's a bunch of different ways as head coach you could set this up.
Well, if I was Freeman, what I'm telling the players is I'm saying, hey, your season ended in week 2 last year. Yep. All that work that you put in the offseason, and the season was over before it even started. That's what I'm telling them. I said, hey, you guys got to lock in a lot sooner.
Yeah, it's but man, this is all eyes are going to be on Notre Dame. Everybody around the country wants to see Notre Dame fail. They're mad about the schedule. Like it is going to be Notre Dame versus everybody in a very different way than it always is, but this one's going to have a different edge to it given the dynamic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, and the schedule thing irritates me. Is Notre Dame's schedule really weak? Absolutely, but I mean, for some reason, Miami and Texas Tech, I think, have way worse schedules. But for some reason, it's okay because they conference. I guess the reason. I don't know.
That is the reason. That is the reason. You said for some reason. No. I've thought about this a lot. Yeah. That is the only reason. There is this perception that Notre Dame handpicks the easiest schedule possible, like a week before the season, and just gets the worst teams. And it's all this deviant thinking of Notre Dame to manipulate things because they're independent. Even these really light conference schedules, they don't take the heat because it's like, well, the conference set it up. What do you want them to do? You play the teams in front of you. That is the reason.
Well, it's kind of funny too, because I mean, I know you see a lot of the stuff online of people saying don't schedule Notre Dame. I've seen that a lot online. Wouldn't that be the opposite of what you want to do? Wouldn't you want all the top teams to schedule Notre Dame to prevent them from making the playoffs? Because wouldn't all the top teams not playing Notre Dame just ensure they're ranked in the top 12?
Yeah, it's a good way.
Wouldn't that just ensure we made the playoffs? So wouldn't that do the opposite effect of what they will want?
Yeah, that's
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
That's a good angle. And the larger scheduling discussion is going to be interesting. I want to see if Texas holds to their agreement to play Notre Dame or if they back out the way they're talking about it. And it seems like they might, because what does that effect do to the Alabama series, the Florida series? And I believe Auburn's coming up too from the SEC. If Texas backs out, do those schools follow suit or do they play Notre Dame? So the larger scale scheduling thing, we're going to have to figure out. And of course, you don't have USC. So I don't know. You better just win the games in front of you. Check them off week by week.
Yeah. But they're still going to complain about our schedule. They're going to still tell everybody not to schedule us and then complain about the schedule. So there's no win here at all.
Yeah, you're right. But you better run that thing, and I think you better get to November 7th with a clean slate. I don't think you want to reach that Miami game with one loss. The second one might book you for the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Which game are you going to this year, John? Are you going to Miami?
We're gonna do tailgates for Rice and Miami. All
right. The only game that I'm going to be able to go to this year is BYU, just because I'm only 2.5 hours from Provo. So when you live in my part of the country as a Notre Dame fan, you don't get very many opportunities to go. And the only time they come out my way is they go to USC, and I'm not going to California. So so finally they're close to me enough to me where I get to go to a game. So
that is going to be intense. And I respect BYU. They have that upset minded culture, try hard, grind you out. They have every characteristic of a program that could knock off a top 4 Notre Dame team. They check all those boxes. That's going to be a tough one. And Notre Dame has 6 games to get everything figured out they want to get figured out to prepare to go to that one. And, oh, by the way, based on the reports, I expect to have KVA back even before then to bolster that defense even more.
Yeah, and that'll be great. I live in LDS capital USA, so everybody around me is all BYU fans. So
Yeah.
it's kind of been kind of fun ever since that game was announced. It's been kind of fun, like ribbing my coworkers about it and stuff because they're all a lot of BYU alums where I live. So
that's going to be an intense buildup for you. That'll be kind of fun. I need you to give us a report when we get closer to that game and the buildup and what it's like around there, man.
Oh yeah, they're already calling it the biggest home game in BYU history, is what they're already saying.
Yep, here we go. See, it's already starting already. Renee's going to be there. He says, "Hey, where does this guy live?" So, like, what town is it or whatever? Maybe Renee knows.
So I live in Twin Falls, Idaho. So it's only about 2.5 hours, maybe closer to 3 hours from Provo, but. Yeah, but we're close, so I'm gonna get, and I'm hoping because it's a bucket list item for me, but I'm hoping College Game Day's there.
Yeah, it'll be, and I forget what the rest of the schedule, college football slate looks like that day.
Indiana, Ohio State is on that day, so
there you go. And then I know for Notre Dame, Miami, that is a heavy day. There's a lot of good games that day, so we're gonna have to see who's undefeated and what the status is of all those teams. Jared, really, really good call, man. Thanks for starting your day here. I appreciate you.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me on, man. Go Irish.
Anytime, man. Jump back on. Appreciate you. Thank you. Spicoli, what's up, bud?
What's with my people, man?
What's going on?
Not much, man. Just working out here in the heat, bro. Just taking care of business, saving that money to come to Notre Dame this year, man. Watch the Irish.
What a genuine mission you're on. I appreciate that very, very much. So what are your thoughts here? You've been here in the early part of the show, either reaction to the jersey or the season or camp. Where do you want to go? What's on your mind?
First of all, bro, the jersey's blue and gold, so I'll take that. Just stick with blue and gold, and I hope the pants are gold. If their pants are not gold, I'm going to throw a little fit, but otherwise. And hopefully the green game this year will also have the gold pants versus it's just like, you can't go without the gold, bro. So with that, I'm good, man. I like the jerseys. They look pretty pimp. I can't wait to see them during the game because they look like it's going to be sick. I feel like we should, lead at least 3 touchdowns over Wisconsin. And then I feel like Rice should be a good blowout. But like everybody's worried about September, man. But I mean, come on, get off that, bro. I mean, that was early in the career. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't help that Riley threw a short pass at the end of the game. I mean, come on. That should have been a run play for that game anyways, man. So things happen. We lose games. But the team has been playing like a machine lately, bro. I mean, to end out the year, to end out the last year, we have been, ending solid. So we've been killing it, bro. To be an Irish fan at this moment is like one of the greatest things, man. We're getting the glory days back. We got the team stacked. And I'm waiting to see it, bro. I feel like, it's only ours to lose. So hopefully, we'll be rocking a ring at the end of the year this year.
Man, you do bring up a good point about like the years fly by and then like you kind of like we're all worried about Northern. Well, that's going on 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like I'm still burned by Marshall and Stanford in the first year. Like the years have gone by. You would like to think Freeman and this whole program is just over that kind of problem. You know what I mean? Done with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would think, man. I mean, 3 years in, he's on his 5th year now. So like everybody else agrees, man, he's got all the kinks worked out. And I mean, plus the 2 recruiting classes he just got. So we got to wait another year for the next one to come in. But bro, we should be just stomping fools. We should just be letting those gold helmets gleam while we just stomp on all these other teams, bro. I mean, that's the way it is. Notre Dame's back.
Let me ask you this. You are coming off with a lot of Irish confidence and belief. Is there any part of you that has some anxiety of being like, man, maybe I'm overdoing this? Like is there, because you're really confident, is there any part of you that's like, what could go wrong, or I'm worried about this? Or are you just
definitely
in and you believe this is just different this time?
Well, I'm a Notre Dame fan, man. So I'm not super religious, but I am superstitious as hell, man. So, I mean, I'm going to be mowing the yard, doing the plans, doing all the kind of things I got to do to pull for a victory. So, yeah, I'm always nervous as a Notre Dame fan because it seems like only in a Notre Dame game could some of the things that happen. And I mean, I don't watch every other game, but I pretty much watch. And man, I mean, it's just the luck of the draw with the Irish, man. But Freeman is our coach. In Freeman, I trust. I think he's the next host. I really do, man. I like the man. Everything the dude does, man. Walk the walk, talk the talk, and then the team. We got Carr. We got our wide receivers. Man, really, the only thing I would be worried about is Greathouse, man. If Greathouse has a good year or a decent year, I'll just be happy for him personally because I want him to have a good year, man. Last year was hard to just see him set out the whole year after he had that good, bowl game, in the end of the year. But I'm always worried. Injuries are the only thing that I think, pray to God that that's not going to hit us this year. But man, we got the mentality. There's no reason to be worried no more, man. Notre Dame fans, we've been on a 10, 15-year stretch of where we've just been, stacking wins. So get used to it, man. This is who we are. We are Notre Dame. We are the best college football team. We will do that. We will get that ring. And if not, we'll get it next year. But we're going to get it this year, bro.
So, all right, you're talking about Freeman and all of this good stuff and being the next Lou and everything. So does that mean you believe he's going to be in South Bend a while and not jump to the NFL? Are you building that in?
If I could rub a lantern or a little genie bottle, man, and know that answer, bro, I would, I'd tell you, man, but I can't say for sure. But I know one thing for sure. He's built and left Notre Dame better than he got it, bro. And I mean, for the chance of having him in the beginning of his career, Notre Dame, I mean, we're in luck, man. We got lucky on that deal, and then it just blossomed into like the best coaching career, for a starting that he's had, man. But for me,
you know what? You know what that makes me think of? It makes me think of, for all of the negativity I spew about Brian Kelly, he's kind of the guy who got him here as the DC that kind of put him in the Notre Dame ecosystem. I think you got to give him some credit. You got to give him some credit on that one, getting him into the ecosystem.
Well, see, a lot of people don't like BK, man, and I understand. But, man, the first year I got to go see Notre Dame was 2010, and he took care of Pittsburgh for me. And every game I've been to Notre Dame, we've won. And even in the early years with BK, they were kind of, iffy whether or not we will win. But, man, he did set, at least the ground footing for Freeman to, go over the peak. So I will always like Brian Kelly, bro. I mean, when he talks, my ears start falling off, man. And, just listen to him talk is just the hardest thing, man.
But but
he's not a Notre Dame man either.
Yeah, but I can appreciate the foundation. And he inherited a really bad program in a very bad spot that was very behind the times on and off the field. And he did a lot of work to build it back to a reasonable level. And then Freeman took it from there. So I think it's fair to criticize Kelly where it's warranted and give him credit where it's warranted too.
Main thing with BK, and the reason why he never won is because he never read those letters that Lou sent him and he never wrote him back. Freeman is the opposite, bro. Freeman is the opposite.
It bothers me.
Oh, dude, it bothers me so bad. But that's the godfather of our school, man. Lou was the last to hold the torch, and he's going to hand it on to Freeman. But as far as Freeman, man, the dudes went through all this with his family, with that BS that happened at the wrestling match. I think he went to the NFL and saw that anywhere he goes, he's going to have to build his way up from scratch. And then I think he came back and realized, I have built Notre Dame back to the prominence. So I feel like at least 5 years, bro, at least a couple of championships, at least one. He's got to get a bronze statue. He's got to be the link from Lou to the new ones. You know what I'm saying? Even if Freeman leaves after a championship, I'll be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
But be the link. Because, man, I'm saying right now, I know other Irish fans feel like this. There's nobody, not one coach, not, what's his name? The old busted up Indiana Jones boy.
Yeah.
But there ain't no coach, bro, that will represent Notre Dame like Coach Freeman, man. You will be writing books. You will have a new book, bro. And he will be the new favorite coach of all of us, man. And I can't wait. I just hope for all the younger Notre Dame fans, they get a new coach to latch their, onto, bro. Because, Lou was my man. And now that he's gone, I'm just hoping Freeman can start, he can gather that up for the newbies, bro. And they can, have a good little stretch of life just knowing that's who we are. And
I'm
that's the
telling
head
you
of our
what, man, I like the positivity from you. There's some unbridled positivity here. And I like that. I think we need some of that. And, if you can't be optimistic right now with where this program's at, when can you? You know what I mean?
Bro, I mean, look at our offensive line. Last year when I called you, the main worry I had was the defensive line. Look at the D line. So if you want to question me on it, man, I'm saying, bro, our O-line looking nice and the D-line's looking nice. So let's eat them up, man. Let them running backs. We don't have Love and we don't have Jay Price, but we going to have some holes opening up for the new boys and they going to rip them up, man. And that's just the way it's going to be. I can't wait to watch, bro.
I like your vibe. I like that confidence, and we're gonna see what happens. We're only a few weeks away from camp. Hey, man, thanks for calling. Join us again. I like the optimism.
Oh, dude, I got you, bro. And all I gotta say, man, is go Irish, and please, please, Freeman, let's honor Lou. Honor Lou, bro. If anything and everything, honor Lou. Thank you, man. Later.
I appreciate it. Good call, man. Have a good one. Catfish here coming up. Crying. September is a real issue. Freeman always gets the teams rolling by November. Then the next September comes and it's the reset to mediocrity. It has been a problem. It has been the two things that I need from Freeman that we haven't quite had yet is winning out in September and owning your home field. And I need Marcus Freeman to do both of those things for this year to be what we need it to be. So that is something fair to worry about. And I'm not sure exactly why or what's gone into those particular issues or problems that kind of rear their head. But there is no doubt that piece of this does need to be addressed and changed and fixed. It really does. Catfish, good morning, brother. What's up?
What's up, Johnny? How are you, buddy? Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, man, it's good to be back in the mix here. And I like the energy, Catfish. You could feel it building towards the ramp to camp. You can feel the intensity kind of starting to bubble up, and it gives us all this kind of football energy. I like it.
It's picking up. We're getting it. Hey, first and foremost, on the last caller, you need to get a Blarney Stone. If you're a big Holtz guy, you'll understand that. Do some research into it. He was real big on those. And I know Johnny's wore some shirts or whatever. But if you want to rub something for good luck, Holtz would really, really, really push that. And you know that, Johnny. So that's just something I was thinking about when he had said that. Get you a Blarney Stone. First and foremost, I want to kind of go over this. I like the new union, man. I think it's cool for one game. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I mean, I heard some negative aspects of it or whatever, but they kind of kept it simple or whatever. And blue and gold is what Notre Dame is. That's what we are.
It's fine.
I mean,
fine. Just go win the game. It's fine.
Yeah. That kind of goes with that right there, Johnny. So you say the first 6 games, and we kind of alluded to it earlier this year or whatever. I'm more interested with how they look in the first 6 games. The games that Freeman, and I'm going to kind of go with crying on this a little bit. Imagine that. The games that he struggled in and lost in September and early in the year have been games we should have won. He never struggled against those teams that we should have lost to or, big games. He was always in those games as a team. And we either had young quarterbacks or first-time starters or, new coordinators or whatever. Now we have a coaching staff. I know the position coaches are different, but the coordinators are the same. The coaching staff, pretty much, the direction is the same. And a lot of the players are back from those games. There's no excuse that they can't go in here and literally pound these teams. What I mean is leaving no doubt in these games. If they if they look like, and I hate to say this because I love 2012. You know, it was a great year. We won our games. You know, we lost in a big game we should have won or should have showed up for, but we didn't. But that's exactly where I'm going to go with this. If we are looking like we did in that year where we're barely winning games against teams that we should beat, we're going to know in those first 6 games. We're going to feel it. Like, does this team legit have a chance to win? Because you can see it with the skill on the field, with the way the team's ready. If they're not ready, we're going to see a chip in that armor, man. I'm telling you, we're going to know in those first 6 games whether or not it's even worth watching Miami or BYU or all these games, like, or in the playoffs. There's going to be no doubt we're going to be ready as a fan base to be like, yeah, we deserve to be here or not. Like that's what it's going to allow us to do. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to be there. But I mean, you know, that's the only thing that's got me kind of, you know, a wait and see. I want to see if this team is really prepared. You know what I mean? Like, they can't let up those first 6 games just based on talent, or they need to be building up until BYU Miami. And we're going to know that in those first 6 games. You know what I mean? I don't know how you feel about that, but, you know, I don't care about the score.
That's why it's such a unique opportunity to have these 6 games to open up with. It's just very rare for Notre Dame not to have a front heavy loaded schedule with those conference teams that want to play Notre Dame before they get into conference play and all that. Like most of our lives, we're used to heavy early Notre Dame schedules. This one is different. It provides you a unique opportunity to be able to work out the kinks and figure everything out before you get into the meat of the schedule. And you need to take full advantage of it.
Absolutely. And, you know, the one thing that you were alluding to earlier, you said the first game, you know, it's going to be, you know, it's going to take a minute for every offense, most generally, to gel. It might take a quarter. We might not be clicking on all cylinders the first drive or 2. Okay. Yeah. But by the end of that first game, if they're not moving the ball with, you know, precise, you know, by the end of the game, I'm saying in the second half, if they come alive and look real good, that's what I'm looking forward to. Because if that team struggles in the first game to score points, that's going to worry me. You know what I mean? Like for the ongoing season, because it's going to take a little bit chemistry wise to get that team together, but it shouldn't take more than a half. It shouldn't take more than a half of football to beat Wisconsin. That team was putrid last year. I don't care what they got coming in this year. I don't care if his seat's on fire, red hot, or whatever. They should beat that team soundly. And when I mean soundly, I mean I'm talking at least by what the spread says. There's no excuse for it. And if they can't go out there and at least impose their dominance, even if the offense is struggling a little bit and don't score the first couple drives or whatever, the defense travels. And that defense is legit the reason why we have the aspirations we do. It's not the offense. We have a lot of excitement on offense.
All right, Kat, I got to be responsible here. We entered the Miami game week 1 last year, and I was sitting here saying the offense is going to need some time with the new quarterback, but I trust that defense that they're going to do what I need them to do. And then you didn't get that early last year. So you're confident we're beyond that? Everything's leveled out with Ash and that defense and everything?
If we were playing against Miami this year in the first game, I would have the same trepidation that you're talking about, but we're not. We're playing Wisconsin. So there's a difference in that. Wisconsin and Miami are 2 different teams. They're 2 different last year, it's a proof and point right there. The offense kind of sputtered early in that game last year. Didn't they pick it up in the second half? I mean, they ended up tying up the game. They were down. The defense struggled last year. And all I'm saying is that was against the first 2 games against Miami and Texas A&M. And then they started building that momentum. They have to come out lights out from the first snap. It can't be none of this Miami, Texas A&M crap. They can't do it because the bottom line is that the offense is going to have a little bit of a stopgap right there. You know, you got to give them a little bit of room to fill what they are, because at the end of the day, just like last year when the offense struggled, we never figured out 3rd and 4th and short. Never. The whole entire year. It was that way from game 1 to the last game of the year. If it was 3rd and 1, we were trying to fit. They have to work that stuff out early in the year, and that's what this schedule gives us. My biggest thing is I don't even care what the score is. I want them to beat them up. I want those teams to go, man, you know, as they say, you can see speed on the field. You can see talent. You see it. I want to be able to see that. Like we have some eye popping plays. Like that guy's different. You know, you see a Jeremiah Love running the ball down the field, and you're like, wow. Or you see, you know, Jeremiah Smith catch the ball, and Ohio State fans are like, that dude's different. You know what I mean? Like we have to see those type of plays. The score really don't matter, because if they're as good as what we think they're going to be, that's going to work itself out. I just want them to be prepared. They have a plan and they execute it. Don't give me this Marshall crap. Don't give me this NIU stuff. Don't give me this it's the first game jitter stuff. Don't get out there and put your money where your field is, so to speak. We put the money into this team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they better come out, because I'm going to tell you right now, this is like one of those things Notre Dame has not invested in this program. If this team comes out flat and they do what some of these guys think that they're going to do, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a problem. It really is. I'm talking about going forward, whether Freeman stays or not, because they're not going to invest in this program if this team does not, you know, come full circle and actually start playing like all the expectations.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest thing, man. And I kind of like that new uniform. So I'm excited about this.
This whole build up to this year has such a different feel, and these expectations and everything is so amplified. Everything is already amplified when it involves Notre Dame. This is going to be over the top attention, scrutiny, pressure, all of it. And man, it just feels like the program for once is in the position to handle that the right way. And I don't want to be proven wrong, but it really does feel like they're at a different level, but they got to prove it. They got to prove it.
I mean, I want to say this, and I don't mean it the way it's. I want killers out there, man. I want a team full of I want to stomp on their neck and don't let them up. I don't want this crap. We win by a field goal or a botched snap, or it takes us a fourth. Those first 6 games, I want this team to go out there and impose their will on these guys. Like, you know, it's so much so that people are going, well, you know, you're going to win those games. Yeah, that's what I want. I don't want one of this, well, you got lucky against Rice, or you got lucky against Wisconsin, or you should have lost this game, or, you know, or we only lost by 4 points in the first 2 games. None of that crap. I don't want none of that. I want them to go out there and prove to us as fans in this whole entire country, and it's them against the world. Last year proved, when they kept them out, that mantra, they got to feel that. They cannot give them an inch, because they're going to take a mile. They're going to take it from you. So if you give these teams like NIU the ability, or a Marshall, that should never, ever, ever, any year, any coach, any way, come into Notre Dame Stadium and win. You know, they shouldn't. They had no reason doing that. And they did, because the team overlooked them. And we can't have that. So my biggest concern, I guess, going into the year isn't if we're as good as what we are. I think we are. I think everybody knows that. Just watch this. And I don't even think that's even a discussion. The thing is Freeman going to have them prepared?
Yep.
They're going to have to figure out a way to prepare for the games that you know you should win. The team can't. There's too much of a, you know, season to go to be losing any one of those first 6 games, because it's going to give. We can't lose none of those, and we have to come out and be prepared. Because I have no doubt, as they say, as the mantra, they're going to be prepared for BYU and Miami. I think they're going to be ready. And so I'm not even worried about that.
If you're not, then what did you do the whole first half of the season? Like, you know,
that's what that's why that's first 6 games are going to really matter. They're going to be the eye test that everybody's going to know whether this team is legit or not. And you know what I mean, John, because how many times have we watched the Notre Dame game, or Notre Dame team, should I say, and whether it be the year that we were 8-0, and it was all smoke and mirrors. Everybody knew that team wasn't, you know, national championship. We were hoping and praying, but we knew it. The year we went 12-0, it was smoke and mirrors. But I'm going to tell you right now, my biggest thing is like this team needs to do it. They need to prove it, not just, you know, and put up or shut up. So
Catfish,
so, I don't know.
WPP, $10 holler. Mr. Catfish is talking sense today. Must be a leap year.
Hey, I went down to Florida. You know what I mean? Florida Dame's in my blood now. I'm gonna get one of them shirts. I'll be showing it over here in Ohio for you guys. So I'm just saying, like I appreciate that WPP. My biggest thing is, John, I'm so excited about this year, and all of us are, and we're so worried because we're so like gun shy, or we're looking around the corner for the boogeyman, so to speak, because it's happened all the time. And I harken back onto those Holtz years where those fans, like, just watch the old videos and the fans on the sidelines just ready to explode. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking forward to that. Like, I don't want to win by mistake. I don't want it to be these other teams lost. I don't want it to be
doubt.
Leave no doubt. And I want that team, man. I'm so tired of seeing Alabama and their fans, because they have a right to walk around with some swag. They have that right. They earned it. That's what I want Notre Dame to be again. They earned it. They weren't giving it. I don't want to hear about they got in because they were in the top 12. I want them to go into the playoffs and people were like, why'd you even put that into the memorandum? Why you even have that? You don't need it. You're always in the top. That's what I want, to walk around with confidence that it's not cocky. Don't walk around like Miami of the 80s and 90s. Don't do it, okay? Walk around with confidence that you should be on that field and you should win every game. That's what I want them to do. And I think Freeman, coming from the lineage of Jim Tressel and being the man that Tressel was and Freeman is, that this team can actually do that. And that's why I'm more excited than anything. They're going to come across as dogs.
I love your energy. I love your vibe. This is just, you could feel everything building to the ramp to camp here. Man, I really appreciate you jumping in, and I hope you have a good rest of the day, buddy.
I got one thing for you before you go.
Yeah.
All right. So here's my one thing. You're going to the moonshine capital of the United States. You got a tailgate coming up, a couple of them this year, right? You got to get us some moonshine for the tailgate. Okay. And if you need some connections, I got them. I got some connections down there in Kentucky. Okay. So if you can, go ahead and get with them or get with your people and bring us some moonshine so we can have some real fun.
Oh man, here we go. And who needs coffee when you can start your day with that real Kentucky moonshine, baby? Kat, you're the man. Have a good day, brother. Love the energy.
Have a blessed weekend, man. See you guys next week.
Oh man, Catfish is the best. Scott, what's going on, buddy? Good morning.
Hey, John. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, well, I can hear you. You could just talk if you want.
John, I guess I'll have to pass because I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I'll call back on Friday.
No problem, buddy. Take it easy, Scott. He was this is here. We're flipping the script. Instead of me saying it, somebody's saying it to me.
I can't understand you.
Trex, what's going on? Good morning. Trex. Oh man, that's disappointing. We're 0 for 2 on the last two. I don't think it's from my end. It's that technology.
I can't understand you.
Slip Mahoney says, how about some jungle juice at the tailgate? I'm going to tell you what, man. That was a college thing, that jungle juice and everything that got dumped in it. Like, I am way too old for whatever that was. I will say this. I'll give you a jungle juice story. We were having this huge party in our apartment complex, and we're like on the 3rd floor, and there's a few floors above us. And in the morning, we got like the Gatorade, the big Gatorade, like the baseball Gatorade circle, the big classic orange jug, the big with the white lining, right? And we mixed the jungle juice, and had red Kool-Aid and all the crap you put in it in the morning. And it was literally the Gatorade barrel full of that stuff. Okay. We mix it all together, and we're going to let it marinate while we're in class on a Friday. And then when we get done with class Friday afternoon, we'll be ready to party. So we got that huge Gatorade jug full of the red jungle juice. We all go to class. We come back from class. The little hosel at the bottom like broke and opened. All of that red jungle juice was all over our floor. Literally like the cheap laminate kitchen floor you have when you're in a college apartment. red everywhere. So we're trying to clean that up. That ain't the end of this story. We're trying to clean that up. And these girls we're friends with below us call us and say, you guys got to come down here. There's something bad going on. Like, I think somebody got like hurt, or like somebody's bleeding. Something's going on. We go downstairs. The red jungle juice was filling up their like light fixtures, leaking down, and the red is leaking out of like their kitchen light and stuff. Basically, our jungle juice ruined the whole apartment complex, and half the people thought somebody got murdered because it was red and it was dripping down their light fixtures, shorting out circuits. And it was a total waste, and we didn't get any of the jungle juice, man. Jungle juice is right up there with what is the thing where there's like 5 different liquors in it, the Long Island iced tea or whatever, where there's just like 5 different strong liquors in there. Like, I'm just too old for it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just too old for it. Trex, let's try again. What's up, buddy?
Hey, could you hear me now, bud?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, long time no speak, man. How you been?
I'm awesome, man. Yeah, long time. You've been listening to some of the show. You can feel the energy percolating with college football fans. The ramp to camp. What's on your mind in Notre Dame land?
Really just 2 points. The first point, I want to preface this with, I don't think that this schedule is the most difficult schedule we've ever played. That's obvious. But I don't think that this is as light as most people are making it seem. I was looking at the Phil Steele,
walk that out for us. Yeah, walk that. You're not the only one I've heard with that opinion. It's going to be hard to sell that to like the public that hates Notre Dame, but there is an angle on that. Walk it out for me, because it's an interesting point.
Well, really, it's more so about the optimism. I look at it about the optimism going into the season. And that is, when you're on top of the mountain, or everybody's looking at you or projecting you to be on top of the mountain, everybody is doing the best they can to take a shot at you. If this were a traditional 2017 Brian Kelly schedule, with the preseason ranking of like number 15 or 16, how we always like a second tier team, we would look at the schedule and go, all right, like going into the season, we probably have 4 rated teams on this schedule. We've got BYU, SMU, Miami, and I know a lot of people will laugh at this. Very often, Navy's also rated. And 4 of 12 teams being rated, then you probably have 4 teams on this schedule who definitely aren't great, but they're swing teams. They're possibly they'll possibly end up the season being bowl eligible.
Yeah.
You got Wisconsin,
I agree with
Michigan
that.
State, UNC, and Syracuse. Those teams could win 6-7 games potentially. We should be able to blow them out. But if you go in there on a sleepy Saturday, as you say, they're teams you have to take seriously. And then you have 4, garbage teams, I would say. Rice, Purdue, Stanford, BC. Sometimes it could be a little tricky, being that there are a lot of Notre Dame rejects. But it's 4, 4, and 4. And then in the middle of that schedule, you got BYU, who will be a top 15 team on the road, followed by Navy, who I know they're not the most talented team, but the triple option can be tricky, and it has a way of beating teams down. And then after Navy, you got Miami, which is an entirely different offense that you'll have only a week to prepare for. 3 rated teams in a row, sandwiched with the triple option team. That's not that easy. I don't care, about the Georgia, Ohio State schedules at the moment. Like, nobody can look at that 3-game stretch and go, you know what, that's a joke. It's not.
The problem is you're not going to be able to sell that to anybody outside of Notre Dame circle. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get that grace outside of Notre Dame land, even if it's true. And I do think there's an angle where you could be glad you're getting Wisconsin early, because like they end up pulling it together and becoming bowl eligible and get a lot better as the year goes along. Like, there's an argument that like you you might want to catch a team like that early week 1, you know?
If we went into the preseason again, we'll call it 20, under Brian Kelly, and we were the number 15 team in the country going into September, would you then look at the schedule with likely 4 rated teams on it and go, this is a cakewalk?
Yeah, I just think it
Is it a
isn't.
matter of perspective? I mean, when you're going into the season as a legitimate top 3, top 5 team, unquestioned, everybody's saying it, everybody thinks it. Now the schedule looks light, right? Like, because you're at the top of the mountain. But if you were number 17 going into the preseason, might look a little different with 4 rated teams on that schedule, no?
Yeah, and yes, and this is always a big thing in college football. It isn't just about who you play, but when you play them as such a big part of college football. It isn't just who you play, but when you play them. And that's why I just think this schedule is super favorable for Notre Dame. You're going to be a double-digit favorite for 6 weeks in a row before you go to that BYU game. Like that is some leeway for Notre Dame to be able to find itself while collecting wins that just usually doesn't exist.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
You got to take advantage of that.
Oh, totally. But part of the reason why it sets up this way is because we're now a top 5 team and nobody can dispute that. If we were a top 15, top 20 team, if you ask, Michigan to play this schedule going into this year right now, what would their record projection to be? 8, 9 wins? If they got a 10-win season with the schedule we're playing right now, that would be an enormous success for them. USC, rival of ours, their preseason top 15 team, what would they do with this schedule? Would they win more than 9 games? I'm not quite sure. I think it's more about crediting Notre Dame with being on the cusp of they're actually taking that next step. I mean, everybody's, they're the favorite to win the thing. Carr's the favorite to win the Heisman. We've arrived. Now it's time to wrap this thing up, knock that door down, and win the damn title.
Yeah, man. I'm with you. So let me ask this: do you believe? I'm entering this saying I think if everything goes wrong, everything going wrong for Notre Dame this year is 10-2, and I don't think they make the playoff. You didn't make it last year with 10-2, and this is a weaker schedule than that. Are you of a belief that you could, if everything goes wrong and you're 10-2, the strength of schedule could be enough you could sneak in, or do you still think that's pushing it? Because I think that's pushing it.
I think it's debatable, right? It's when you lose, how you lose.
And it depends what happens with everybody else too,
Yeah, those 2 losses last year, and I don't know that I think it's debatable that the schedule last year was.
And does it matter who they're to? You can't lose to BYU and Miami and then be like, we're 10-2. You can't lose your 2 biggest games of the year and then think it's still, I don't know. But you also can't lose to a team you're supposed to beat by 3 touchdowns and then claim you deserve it. There's no right answer other than don't lose.
Well, to be fair, when you're a preseason top 5 team, you're supposed to look at it like that, right? A preseason top 5 team doesn't go into the season and say, which 2 games should I lose? A preseason top 5 team looks at it like, okay, this is a win. You go into every single game like we are right now going, all right, we should be favored by this, and this is what it's going to take to cover. And the only game really that's questionable, gone to my head on the schedule is Miami. There's nobody on this schedule right now where I think that they should be within 14 points of us. So I want to make that clear. But what I also want to make clear is I don't think for the majority of the country that this schedule is that light. No, that's not the current Ohio State schedule this year. I'm not arguing that at all. But my point is it is a matter of perception. When you're a legit top, Oregon would destroy this schedule. Ohio State would run this schedule. Georgia would run this schedule. Indiana would likely run this schedule. But we're in that tier where we have this level of expectation now because we've been knocking on the door so long and the recruiting's been up and we've been doing great with the NIL, where we're expected to just destroy this schedule, which I love. But my point is, overall, if you were a regular, passerby top 15 team, this schedule is not a light schedule. It's not a joke. It's evenly distributed. There's some tricks in there. That stretch between BYU, Navy, and Miami is You've got 3 rated teams there. You want to argue about Navy, that's fine. There's still a triple option, and you still have to prepare for them. And you've got a top 5 team the following week after playing a rated team. That's 3. That's
Yeah.
not going to be a joke. Look, it's not the most difficult schedule, but I just think we're making it seem like it's a lot lighter than it is, and I think a lot of that has to do with the perception in regard to Notre Dame and where they stand nationally at the moment.
Man, I'm with you on that. I understand where you're coming from. Really,
10 and
really
2 is
good.
unacceptable. I'm going to make that ladder. 10 and 2 is not acceptable.
Yeah.
This is that we are a top 5 program. 10 and 2 is no longer acceptable. That was a Kelly thing. Like we're past that now. We went 10 and 2 last year. It was a failure. This year, a satisfactory season for me. I never want to lose. I want to win every game. National championship, we're definitely in the mix for. But if we lost a game over the entirety of a season, the regular season, we dropped 1, and we made it to the Final 4, and we lost. All right, look, we ended the season where we started it as a top 5 team. It's not a fail. We're still there. Ohio State doesn't win every year, but they seem to start every year in the top 5. So if we could kind of replicate what they do and eventually get a natty, I take it.
Yeah, it's man, this is just the expectations are going to make this year a really, really interesting watch. Trex, really, really good call, man. Feel free to join again whenever you get a chance. Good stuff.
Take care, John. Bye.
Have a good one. Yeah, I thought that was good. We're getting a good mix of callers today, man. Really, really good stuff. Okay, let's wrap this thing. Somebody mentioned North Carolina and what I think about all that. Again, I'm already 2 hours in. We didn't even get through the comments I wanted to make on the first 6 games because I have some specific ones for each game, and we never even got to that. I'm going to hold off on the North Carolina stuff because I have some very pointed commentary about the North Carolina Notre Dame game, and I'm going to get into it. So we'll just hold off on that because we're already 2 hours in. But it's a very good thing to ask. Jay Grizz, what if, God forbid, there's an injury to a pivotal starter and we go 10 and 2 because of that, though? Here's what I'm going to say. The only player that I think is at that level that could impact it that much is CJ Carr. There should be enough depth everywhere else on this team that one guy going down doesn't cause the house of cards to collapse. Carr's the only one in my eyes that if he goes down for an extended amount of time, you're screwed central. You're screwed central. And Slip brings this up. You could end up in a position where you run it enough, but then that committee, Florida State's you, and they're like, oh, you got a big injury to your best guy. We don't think you're going to make it. After Notre Dame's experience with this group last year, I don't put anything by him. I don't put anything by him. So I'm just saying, I think Carr's the only one you could make that excuse for. But there is not one other single guy that could go down that everything collapses and Notre Dame starts losing. This is not the Kelly era where you had a decent frontline starter group, and if you have to put a backup in, the drop-off is so extreme you get exposed. Biggest example of that, playoff game against Clemson. Your best secondary guy goes down. They target it over and over and over again. You have no answers, and you get blown out. So, those days are over, except for this quarterback thing. You're exposed there. And every once in a while, I'm like, I love what Notre Dame's doing at O-line, and I think Will Black's going to be an animal out there. But that's a first-time starter guarding the quarterback's blind side. If he falls for one false move and whiffs, CJ Carr's getting suplexed, and the entire year could be ruined. That's all it takes, you guys, is Will Black putting weight on one, going leaning one way instead of the other. And it's a suplex on Carr, WWF Attitude Era style. And your whole year could be ruined. That's all it takes is one of those mistakes. It just can't happen. Let's finish on this. The monster Big 12 deal. What is it? 1.2 million per team or whatever. I briefly saw it, but I would like to read more about the details. But do you take that as awesome, growing conference? Now you have endorsements from like a national brand paying each team. This is awesome. Or do you look at it as like, how bad are your finances overall for all your teams that that's what you got to do to make it like healthy or whatever? Like, I could see that going both ways. But I do. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about it. Like, good for them. They're each getting a free $1 million to what? Where it slam a mountain energy drink or whatever. By the way, do you know how bad those things are for your heart? I know people that like got addicted to pounding those Monster energy drinks. Do you know how bad those are for your system? Everything in there is like mechanical poison. Like, there is nothing good for your system about that Monster other than the initial rush. Like, it's really tough. It's really tough, man. So I don't know. Will's in here taking shots at all of us. We're all poor. We're all dumb. We're all broke. And look at this. You don't go from being John Kennedy to Mike Tyson. Everybody's getting hit around here. Everybody's getting taken hits around this place. I'm going to tell you what, Jay Carr. The Big 12 needs help. The Big 10 and the SEC are in no position to need that kind of money. $1 million isn't a lot for a team. Well, if I had a choice of getting a free $1 million or zero, I guess I'll take the free $1 million, right? I don't know. Or why can't the Big 12 dig up enough oil that could divide the proceeds out between everybody? To dig up enough oil out of like some land and then divide it to your teams. Everybody shares a little bit of oil money. I don't know. ACC getting money from Barnes & Noble. Dude, when I was in high school, Barnes & Noble was the place to be. Honestly, Barnes & Noble was happening, bro. They had the little Starbucks in there, and that was like a luxury, and you would go in there and like hang out with your friends. Like, Barnes & Noble was legit like the hangout spot when I was like 16, man. Now the place is a ghost town. Who needs to read anymore? I'd have the book read itself to me on an internet. You know what I mean? All right, this show is over. You guys are awesome. This show had a lot of energy. Thank you for giving me some grace on Monday's absence. This show had a lot of energy, and I expect that to keep going. Again, no show Friday, but I'll have videos for you guys. Something tomorrow. I'll have a video waiting for the Igwebuke on the 11th. I'm going to go away with family for the long weekend. When we get back, it's time to start locking in. And I think with that'll come some unique new stuff. Start mixing it up, doing a night show either during the week just for the Patreon people to call in, or something on Saturday for everybody to call in that isn't available in the mornings. We're going to start our ramp to camp. Okay. A few more weeks and we're going to be back. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the views. Thanks for the donations. You guys are awesome, man. Have a good day. Take care.